What's up, people? I'm going to steal that line. I'm not Louchy. You might realise that. I am with Louchy, though.
I am here. Don't worry.
And this is Jamie C. But what you'll notice is there's no Johnny and there's no Gianni.
What?
And this isn't the podcast. What happened to the podcast, Ben?
Um, a series of misfortunate events occurred whilst I was trying to produce the podcast this week. Basically, it's gone. It's gone. No podcast.
He mixed it in with his special wank files or something and lost it. But that means we're going to just do this, aren't we? We didn't want to ruin what we had. We had a lot of stuff to talk about this week, and we're going to try and cherry pick some of the best bits. We're going to have a little pop-up store of the best bits.
That
and then
one
gone
on
for the wind.
that one-on-one conversation, yo. Plus,
Or as the picture would say, the one-on-one sessions. Yeah.
I had no idea how we were going to do this, so luckily Jamie was like, "Don't worry, man, I got this." Jamie does most of the work on the podcast anyway, and now that he's hosting, you'll see that. You'll love it.
And then the other two are going to listen to this and go, "Where the fuck are my bits?"
I will apologise to them when I see them.
There's no P45 in the mail, guys. This is just a fuck up that we're trying to recover. Late night, we're trying to fix it so we can get something on the air this weekend, something on the YouTube, right?
Yeah, man. Anything.
Okay, let's get on with business though, right? Let's talk about Project Beast. I want you to talk to me about Project Beast more than anything, because this was a text message I got from you in the week that was just a whole bunch of Excite Bike all over my phone. Go on.
Yeah, you're welcome to read that text message chat out, but Project Beast, we're looking at the possibility, nothing's confirmed, it's just rumours and speculation, but there's a good chance that this is going to be Demon Souls 2. It's a project that's a collaboration between FromSoft and Sony Japan, and nobody's said that Miyazaki's working on it, but there was a reason why he didn't work on Dark Souls 2, and that's that he was working on an unannounced project, so I'm fucking crossing my fingers here, man, that this is going to be a Miyazaki-directed Demon Souls 2, even if it's not called that, even if they go with Beast Souls or something, man. I'm so excited right now. The biggest point
A proper
that,
successor, right? Rather than the Dark Souls series, which is technically a spiritual successor, I'd imagine. But you're bringing in, like you say, Miyazaki wasn't working on the last game, and quite a lot of the staff were missing as well, right, from Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, it wasn't the same team. Well, I mean, it was fundamentally the same team, but a lot of key members were working on something else when they made Dark Souls 2, which maybe is why I felt that Dark Souls 2 wasn't quite as good as Dark Souls 1 or Demon Souls, but I'm not sure, man. All I know is that it's a collaboration between FromSoft and Sony Japan. Sony still own the rights to the Demon Souls license, so it would make sense. Another big thing that you need to take into account is that if this is going to be Demon Souls 2 and it's coming to next gen, it's probably going to be a PS4 exclusive, which we need, man. This console needs exclusives, and this would be a fucking huge one.
I do keep seeing this a lot recently as well. People saying that PlayStation need the exclusives, and that's something that they don't have. But I'm still struggling to see either console really pull out ahead with the exclusives on this gen. I might just not be paying attention so much.
Well, I mean, the sales figures for Dead Rising came out recently, and they sold, I think, 1.2 million so far. And I haven't heard of any like exclusive Sony franchise for PS4 coming out and saying they sold over 1 million copies yet. So I don't know. Take from that what you will. Clearly, Sony's ahead in console sales, but if the attach rate of like AAA games is better on Xbox One, that's an issue, man. I don't know.
We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, back to Project B. Sorry. Let's think about those screenshots that have been leaked in a way, because how many were there? Like 9 or 10 images?
I think 9. Yeah, 9 were leaked. One of them, my favorite screenshot, is probably the most simple one there, and that is the one with the dude just walking through a fog gate at the bottom of a stairwell.
Yeah.
That fog gate looks so nice. Like, I shouldn't be getting giddy at the sight of a fog gate, but it just looks so good, man.
But yeah, I think at this point, when you are a Souls fan, you know what you get from them with gameplay, and let's not say anything bad about the visuals of the Demon Souls and Dark Souls series, but I think that was the other thing that just needed to be boosted now, isn't it? Right. So like you're saying about that fog gate looking amazing, that's really just the next step for them to
I
take,
mean,
right?
all of these screenshots look really good. I already thought that Dark Souls 2 looked a lot nicer than Dark Souls 1. They did a lot of really nice things with their lighting, and especially on PC, everything looks really smooth and stuff, but it still doesn't look like sort of next gen standards, if that makes sense. Even though I'm playing it on PC, and that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but when you've got games like Titanfall and Infamous Second Son kicking about that look fucking stunning, like it doesn't look as good. These screenshots, they look as good as those games, man. So it's clearly going to be next gen, and it has to be PS4. There's no way around it. And I think there might be a little bit of, I don't want to say an uproar, because it's probably not going to be an uproar, but like there's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle where people are going to say it's bullshit that it's exclusive to PS4 if that happens. Mainly because if it would have come straight after Demon Souls, nobody would have cared. But the fact that Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 have been multiplat and big hits for what they are, there's going to be issues, I think, if they come out and say, oh, it's the next Souls game and it's exclusive to PlayStation.
I mean, this is where you can kind of split your own opinion as well, right? For myself, I can see the point in a way. I can see how people might be a bit bummed out. They've bought one piece of hardware, the other one's almost as expensive, just as expensive, and they can't now play that game. But then this is just a shout to these companies, like, you need to now make something as good as them and do it yourself, right? It's going to work either way. So at the end of the day, an exclusive, you know, is there for a reason. It's there to make that company look good, and they've put the time and investment into it. I'm glad Sony gets the likes of The Last of Us, and I'm glad Microsoft gets the likes of Gears of War. Like, you got to have a bit of a charm and a reason to own one or the other.
Yeah, man.
They've got to separate them somehow. But speaking of uproar, then the biggest issue I'd imagine at the moment from these screenshots might be the guns that we're seeing.
People have been bitching. People online have been bitching. Oh, I don't want guns in my Souls game. You're going to make it into Resident Evil and stuff. I really think they're overestimating what we're actually going to get, right? These guns are going to work just like the crossbows and the bows that we already have. There's going to be limited ammunition. They probably won't be as strong as melee combat or magic, just like bows and crossbows are now. They're for chipping away at your enemy at range. I mean, the gun that they showed it looked like a shotgun or like a blunderbuss, didn't it, in the screenshot?
Yeah.
Now, that thing is only going to be good for right in front of your face. So, point blank combat and stuff like that. Just like the fire spray spells and stuff that we already have. So I'd imagine it's just going to work the same way, man. I have no problem. The technology of it looks like it's going to be really old, sort of like flintlock guns and stuff. And that's fine, man. It looks I mean, the whole tone was kind of like a Renaissance-y thing. And they had guns in the Renaissance era, so why
Well,
not?
we're not dealing with non-fiction here. This is fictitious.
Oh,
It could exist. They could have fucking laser guns for all I care. It
obviously,
doesn't matter.
it's a fantasy world, but I mean, it looks like the technological level is about that sort of Renaissance era. The
Yeah.
style of some of the outfits that people were wearing also reflected that, and I'm fine with that, man.
I mean, similarly, a title that I'm excited about would be The Order, and it's kind of got the same sort of Van Helsing vibe going on with the guns being involved. The Order is a little bit more steampunk from what we've seen of it, but yeah, the idea of guns excites me because it opens up a new alleyway, a new route for the game to go down. And like you say, it doesn't have to dominate, doesn't have to be everything. It just has to be an option.
Yeah. Definitely, man. I mean, there was no pyromancer class before Dark Souls. In Demon Souls, there was no pyromancer. Dark Souls comes along, now you've got pyromancer and pyromancies, and it's a whole new way to play the game. This could be the same again. There was no guns before. Now that they're bringing in guns, maybe there's going to be like tech trees or something instead of spells, that you can do different things with those guns as you rank up. But it won't be free aiming, like capping everything away like it's Resident Evil 6. That will not happen. It's still going to be a Souls game, and it will still play like it. So
We have faith.
I do have faith.
Praise the sun.
Praise the sun, man.
Right. The other big thing at the moment, then, really, and it's one that I'm excited about. If you listened to the podcast a few weeks when we came back, actually a few weeks ago, we were putting down our Game of the Year predictions. I came out with Destiny, and I'd stand by that at the moment. couple of big bits coming out of there this week. One is that the beta is coming in July. So we can get excited about that now. We can actually get some hands on because that's a couple of months before release. So we'll really just get to stress test it, I'd imagine, at this point and see how it's going to handle online. The other thing then really plays into this in a way is that they're going to be spending 500 million on production and advertising,
Now,
with a plan to recoup it over a 10-year period that they think this game will run for.
they didn't confirm that this was a 500 million spend right now, did they? They said that
No,
this project has 500 million in it, which
we're talking overall. They never specified a date or
which
anything.
to
That's right.
me, after they've already said that they're going to support this game as if it was an MMO, we're talking expansion packs and stuff like that over the course of 10 years. It says to me that this is the that is the cost of developing this entire project. So that is going to pay for the expansion packs that come out periodically within that 10-year span. Which, when you think of it that way, that's not that much. I mean, like, depending on the size of these expansion packs, if they're sizable, like that could be 5 different games worth of content that they're releasing over the course of the next 10 years. And obviously there's going to be a massive marketing push behind it as well, well, with it being the first project in the collaboration between Activision and Bungie. Like, they're going to make a big deal, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think Activision have to put the money in there really now because when they're going to take a team like Bungie away from doing something like Halo, which has made them so famous, and they've got a lot riding on this, they need to make sure it's right. As I was saying on the podcast that we won't hear, I'll bring it up again. Let's look at some of that advertising cost, though. The recoup comes in to them then, not just, like they're going to make the sales. And I was talking about how it would take 16 million copies being sold to get back that money. But let's also look at other companies that are going to play in. Like, we don't get it so much here in the UK. I think when Halo 4 came out, I saw Mountain Dew bottles with advertising on them, but we don't really see it as much as over in the States. So it must be a massive system over there. And they'll have it on Doritos, they'll have it on Mountain Dew, they'll even have it in their Subways. So I mean, the money's going to come back into them that way as well. So it starts to look a little easier on the eye because I mean, what were they talking about for Grand Theft Auto? I think about 300 million, somewhere around that
I
mark,
think, yeah,
300
that
million
sounds
dollars.
about right to me.
And now that that's made a couple of billion, in the grand scheme of things, that is nothing. But I mean, it's a gamble. But if it pays off, I think they got a right to be excited about their product.
Definitely, man. Like, if it does well, then it spawns a franchise, right? Like, and a series that could last for like decades, man. So they want to get this like entrenched in our minds now. That's why that budget's there. That's why it's going to be fucking everywhere when the game launches. You're going to be seeing adverts before tons of YouTube videos, adverts on TV, pop up like takeover ads over websites and stuff. I'd be surprised if there wasn't actually advertisements just by the side of the road and stuff as you're driving along, like where they usually advertise Sky Sports and stuff. You'll see it around there. The advertising thing is going to be huge, man.
This will be a bus stop campaign. We'll see it all over the big double deckers as well. I'm excited. Like I said, game of the year prediction for me right there. And you talk about that MMO treatment. I mean, in the last 5 or 6 years, how many expansions have we seen for World of Warcraft? At least like three, right, in the last 5 or 6 years.
I think there's 6 in total now,
Yeah,
or something like that. I mean, Final Fantasy 11 has had like 10 or something over the course of its life. Not many people still play that game. I don't play that game anymore, but there's another expansion coming out this year in Japan for it. So
but the point here is when you look at that, like people who play these games, they don't stop and think about the extra they're putting in. They're excited about their game and they still enjoy playing it. So it's got that lifespan in there for them. And that's a game that's missing from my life because games to me at the moment have to be a 6 to 10 hour campaign to even have a chance. But a game like this where we could, I could get a text, like some sort of notification on my phone while I'm out at work or just out doing something, and it's saying like this event's going down tonight. This is going to be happening, and you say you sign yourself up to that. You're straight in there. The the integration from your own personal life and even into your social circles going into this game just make it that bigger, right?
well, I'm actually really excited to see what they do with that companion app. Apparently, you can change your loadouts and your weapons and everything in game just straight through the app. So when you get home, you're already loaded out with the loadout that you want and stuff, and you're good to go. It sounds cool. I know Watch Dogs is coming strong with their companion app, or they want to be going out strong with their companion app. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. I've never used a companion app for any game yet. Not even the dog fucking thing for Grand Theft Auto, man.
Yeah, the chopper or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
I can't
I
remember it
haven't.
now, but
But I'm interested. I like the idea. It sounds cool to me, so I want it to work.
and Watch Dogs is a way that we're really going to test the waters with this one, isn't it? Because things like that little app for Grand Theft Auto, that's no different than playing Candy Crush. It's just that small scale, but this is bigger. We're talking about something that really immerses you in the game. So we'll see. That's
Yeah,
it, and that's out in a couple of weeks, so we'll know. We'll
it
be
is
on
out in
it.
a couple of weeks. I couldn't believe it. That snuck up on us really quick. I wasn't expecting it that soon, man. But
Was trying to do my maths the other day, trying to work out how many. Yeah, and then it just it's coming. It's
it's
coming
coming,
soon.
man.
We'll be excited about that one, which also then means E3's right behind it.
I'm more excited about E3 than I am about Watch Dogs. That last trailer really let me down, man. The first stuff looked so amazing. I couldn't believe it. Like, this is so good. And then that last trailer was just like everything's a bit of a downgrade. It's all right. We're not screwing you. You know, it's only a little bit of a downgrade. All right. I'm still gonna buy your game, but come on, man. Show us what it looks like from the start, you bastards.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's in a way it's a little bit sneaky, but in a way I can appreciate. I'd rather have a greater game than something good to look at. You
Yeah,
know,
I
if it's a loss in visuals to make sure the game runs smoother and plays better and gives you a bigger map, not just an empty map either. We don't want big empty nothingness. We want to have a reason to explore it and
definitely.
get involved in it. But yeah, so I was saying like E3 coming up. We're moving on, Ben. We're moving
That's
on. Let's
fine.
do this.
I had a feeling it was
we
happening.
we you're like, I'm going to bring Watch Dogs up properly now. Let's do that. But no, right. So in a couple of weeks on the podcast, we will do something a bit more to do with E3. We'll do something there, just
Yeah.
going into it, like our predictions again. Maybe I think that went down okay last year. But looking at E3 and looking at Nintendo, I always bring up Nintendo. That we've got to do this. But they're definitely bringing something to the show now. We spoke last week about how they're not doing a proper E3 conference. They're going to do their digital event. One thing that has come out is the image of a little Mario figurine, and then it shows it stemming off onto three different game units, game consoles, saying Game A, Game B, Game C. This is the confirmation of figurines for Nintendo games. So we will be looking at their own series of something similar to Skylanders, but also something that stems across multiple games at once. Is this something to get excited about? Is
I
this a
think
time
so.
for someone like yourself to join in with the sort of figurine
It sounds
based game?
it sounds cool to me. It does. Like if there's exclusive content in other games that you unlock by bringing your sort of figurine data from each game to the next. Like say if you went from New Super Mario Bros. U over to Mario Party and then like you've played through both those games and then you go on to Smash Bros. If it unlocks some shit in Smash Bros. Because you've played those other games, then I'm all for it, man. That sounds really cool. It's kind of like achievements, but with a physical thing that kids will love. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's something that's especially here in the Western market, especially in England, we don't see so many Nintendo related figurines at retail. I mean, I remember years ago I bought my wife Luigi's Mansion figurine that I managed to track down at shop level and find, and it was it's a really nice piece. You want to find these normally, you have to go online and pay the extra to get them imported and stuff like that. So it would be nice to see a mainstay retail option and make sure they sell it in supermarkets this time as well.
just it should be sold everywhere, man. Supermarkets, toy shops, dedicated games retailers across the board, man. Same as Skylanders. That's why that's so fucking huge. It's everywhere.
And you have to do that now, right?
You do have to do that, man. You got to do it.
But yeah, and I mean with Nintendo and E3, then just one little rumor that I'm going to chuck in there now, rather than trying to wait for our E3 prediction show. I've seen stuff flying around on the net today that Hyrule Warriors is going to be a November release this year, and then we're looking at the Zelda U game being a spring release 2015.
What did you think of that Hyrule Warriors when you first? I know we spoke about it on the podcast a while back, man, but
I know, like me, you're a big Dynasty Warriors fan, though.
hell yeah, man! I got
So
excited.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, if you can jump on a Pona and ride around and slash at people as well, and you've got castles to take down, anything you get in Dynasty Warriors, the biggest complaint about Dynasty Warriors is that it's just the same game over and over again. It's not. It really isn't. And I've enjoyed every you know every version of the game, and I'm just excited to see the Link and all the Zelda universe skins on it. So
Plus, I mean, they showed off some of the bosses as well in the game. Like, there's going to be bosses in there to fight against. They've got a fucking long history of bosses to draw from, man. Like, if they try and get even half of those bosses, shit, Ganon could show up, or Ganondorf could show up. He'd be like Lu Bu, man. You got to get away from Ganondorf. You're not ready to fight him yet, until you
yeah,
get all your gear. It'll be awesome, man. I
there's
can't wait.
possibilities. There are possibilities, right? But yeah, I'm excited then. Like I say, E3 around the corner. Right, Ben,
Yes.
I think we're going to call it quits on that.
Yeah.
Got anything to add?
No, not really, man. I wish I was more tuned in. I think I splurged it all away on that podcast that died, man. I'm sorry.
It's a shame. This isn't the first time we've lost a podcast, but I think it was finally time for me to just say, well, no, if we're going to lose it, there's a bit of gold in there. We'll try and dig some of it back out of all the shit that just crumbled on top of it, and we'll at least try and piece it in there.
I'll tell you something I did pick up on recently. It was something that Iwata mentioned. I don't know whether it was in an interview or something like that. That he was looking at tailoring individual consoles to individual regions. Because there was a lot of stuff going around about like Nintendo might be working on a new console, and that rumor's been going around for a little while. But when questioned about it, Iwata mentioned something about like we're going like region by region to see which consoles should be there or something. Now I don't know whether that means that there's going to be a console that comes out only for Japan or something like that. But it was kind of interesting. It had me thinking like, could that work? Could you have a region exclusive console and could it survive? Like, it's a global business now. Like, everything comes out everywhere. So if you had a console that was just exclusive to Japan or exclusive to Europe, how would that even work, man?
Yeah, that miffs me a bit, to be honest. I'm a bit confused by that concept. I mean, I know they patented some designs recently which had interchangeable parts for a new handheld. If we can just get to a point where I can play GameCube and N64 games on my DS, then I'm happy. That's a new piece of hardware I'm up for.
But I mean, technically, there's some N64 games on the DS, right?
In native form though, like I mean, I'd like to just grab GoldenEye as it is and play that on there, and maybe even like Eternal Darkness from the GameCube and just play that on a handheld version. And let's put 3D on there as well then.
Hold on. Just dipped out for a second.
Yeah.
Talk.
Hello.
Yeah, you're back. Cool. Go for it.
So do you reckon that's cut the recording a bit, or?
No, didn't cut the recording, but you did dip out after you said
3D?
yes.
Yeah? Okay. I was kind of ending it. Are we done now?
Yeah, we can just end it now. I can not even cut that. We just leave this fuck up in the end, man. It'll be amazing.
No! Let's really show you how this works without the editing in there. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Ben, it's been good. It's late at night. We're a bit like bummed that the podcast was ruined, but let's find that silver lining and let's put this on YouTube.
This was nice. This was cool. I like this. This was you and me, man. And no one else can see your face but me.
I was going to say, you're kind of talking to me on a cam right now and looking into my eyes, and not everybody can see that.
Oh,
right
God.
It's a bit much.
Do you remember the sign out from the podcast? See if you can do it. Go
on. You can... welcome to the Big Blue House. I can't remember what it was. It was like
us on Facebook.
Yeah, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at gsc_games. If you want to watch us on YouTube, and you found it. There you are, right? Okay. So you're on YouTube right now. Enjoy that one. And you can follow us all individually on Twitter, even though it's just the two of us this time around. We'll still link everybody in the description, right?
Everyone's down there. You can see them. Just scroll down a little bit. Can you see them?
Have a little look, yeah?
They're
just
there.
Right there next to where it says 2 views. Right. I'm signing off.
Cool. We'll see everyone on the podcast next week.
Which will work.
It will work, I promise. Bye.